Hello, welcome to my little TED Talk video. I'm telling you a story from high school about me playing softball in this video, but it also is the reason why I love biology. So here's me in high school. I played softball. Most of you know that because I'm coaching softball right now, and there's a good chance I'm actually at a game right now because you're watching a video during class. This is me hitting. I just think it's a cool picture of me. I mostly played catcher. I really loved that position. In my junior year, though, we were playing a game. It was in the spring. It also happened to be the week of AP exams, which is really stressful because I got taken out of that week. So what happened, I was playing catcher, which is down here at home plate. This is a little diagram of a softball or baseball field. I think there's a runner on like second or third, and the ball goes to the outfield out here. So the outfielder throws it in to cut to me at home plate because girl's rounding third. She's coming home here. But the throw wasn't great. It was up the line a little bit, so I had to move off of third base and come up the line, which is not ideal because obviously I'm right in the middle of the base path there. Girl is coming full steam towards me. I had my gear on still, but it didn't even matter. The ball was right there and I was grabbing it and she trucked me. So I got knocked over backwards, hit my head on the ground. I had my helmet on, my catcher's helmet, but it didn't really matter at that point. So I got knocked out on the field, had a concussion. I ended up having to go to the ER afterwards. I know a lot of you have had concussions, unfortunately, but if you've never had a concussion, it's really scary because, of course, you're used to operating in your brain, like things look normal. And when you have a concussion, everything, it's like really creepy, eerie. Things don't look right. You start seeing stars in your eyes. Your vision can go black for a while. It's really hard to process things around you. Like you feel like you're in a different world for a minute. There's ringing in your ears. Obviously, your head hurts, your neck hurts. And the strangest thing, like really basic things like, what's your name? What day of the week is it? Do you know where you are? Like those stereotypical questions are actually can be really hard to answer. Your brain just cannot churn and come up with an answer. What actually happens during a concussion, sorry if this is a graphic, I don't think it is though. I ended up, so when you have a concussion, you have to rest for a really long time. You're not supposed to be on your phone. I ended up staying home from school for like 2 weeks and did a lot of listening to audiobooks in bed. It sucked a lot. So I did some reading and listening about what actually happens with a concussion because I was kind of fascinated by that. Why did me hitting my head make me see things? I don't know. I was interested in the chemistry behind it and the biology. So when you get a concussion, your brain is like a big blob of jelly. And what happens is if you like decelerate or slow down your head really fast, of course your head or your brain is inside a skull, that blob of jelly brain actually bumps into your skull, and that's what causes a concussion. Sometimes it happens if you get hit by something really hard too, but it's a lot more common that your head is the thing moving, and that's what causes a concussion. So what happens is your little jelly brain smushes up against the side of your skull, and that squeezes some ions out of your brain cells. For the most part, your cells in your body are fine with being squeezed. Like that happens all the time. Happens to your muscles, happens to your skin. But your brain cells obviously are very important and very sensitive. So what ends up happening are these ions leak out of the neurons in your brain. Neurons are the main cells that like communicate with each other. That's how we can think and also how we can move. Pushes these ions out, like some sodium ions, some potassium ions, things that are just chilling in your body. Which you would think, okay, that doesn't seem that bad. Like they'll put it back. But what happens is your brain goes into crisis because the cells are going to die if they don't reestablish that ion balance. So it puts all of its energy towards making sure that those ions get in the right place. That leakage of ions is also what activates the nerve cells in your eyes and also in your ears, and what makes you hear ringing and see stars and like visions of things. It's also why your brain can't really process thoughts because it's busy fixing the chemicals that are there. So when I learned all of this, I thought that was the coolest fucking thing ever. I mean, obviously it's really scary because I lost my brain function for a very short amount of time and felt very much not like myself. And all of that was caused by these little teeny atoms in my cells. Like, you study them, they're inanimate objects, they do chemical reactions and whatnot, but those little tiny inanimate little spheres that are floating around is what makes us conscious, thinking, breathing human beings. And I think that is so fucking awesome. I know I'm swearing a lot in this video, but I don't even care at this point, because this whole event of me getting a concussion and doing some learning about what a concussion was and what that had to do with biology was when I was like, yo, I want to learn more about this. I want to understand how it is that I am a conscious being that can think about things. Like, I don't know, my table also has atoms in it, but it can't think, it can't move, and I think it's so magical the way that these chemicals inside our body interact, and that makes us who we are. We're living, breathing, laughing, smiling human beings. I think that's so cool. I think some of you might as well, and maybe you'll want to go study biology. Some of you, maybe not so much, but I wanted to share my story about why I really like biology and that I just think it's the coolest thing in the world. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that gave you some insight into what led me down this path to be teaching biology, and maybe made some of you interested as well. Thank you for listening and indulging me with my little story here. I'll see y'all later.